Thank you, and welcome to the inaugural presentation video for the brand new YWH TV channel right here on YouTube. It is I, your world healer, and I don't know any other way to do it but just to jump in. I will briefly introduce myself. Once again, your world healer, formerly associated with Mama Dada Astrology. We're growing, we're evolving, and we are finally here. So welcome. I am very happy and thankful to be presenting to you the first lunation presentation that is this Cancer New Moon solar eclipse. It is a total eclipse coming up here in just about a week, you guys. And if you've been following Mama Dada Astrology and of course my dear precious priceless mama's babies know that none of these events happen in a vacuum. And you know, these lunations represent cycles, and even more so these eclipses. And so you'll see here, you can tell by the title, even in the title, that we're talking about cycles wrapping up with closure in the title, and second chances, renewals. Obviously, even with cycles, if you weren't born yesterday, this isn't going to be a brand new cycle for you. This is going to be a cycle that is building upon other cycles that came before it, and that are also setting the tone for cycles that are going to come after it. So by all means, grab some tea or and just get prepared to chat a while, listen a while, stay a while, so we can unpack these energies that are happening on top of each other together. Okay, eclipses. First, the title, getting an unexpected second chance at closure, brings balance and presence. And then I also put the word presence as it relates to being in the present and in the now. You'll see as we go through the presentation for this Cancer New Moon solar eclipse, everything that title is saying, you know, just a few words, but the rest of these slides are going to really show you what that means and why it is that. Why that's the title that Spirit gave me. The eclipse is exact in the Central Time Zone on Tuesday, July the 2nd at 2:16 p.m. Okay, it is exact at 10 degrees and 37 solar arc minutes of Cancer. We're going to unpack that. So, you know, if you're new to astrology, unfamiliar, I pride myself on using layman's terms and multiple interpretations from various sources. The very last slide in this presentation is a list of all my sources. Whatever I put in the title, you can just add .com to it, and so I can give them their proper due and respect. All right, y'all, let's get going. First slide out is a chart of the lunation. Shout out to the Astrology King. You'll see that in the list of sources as well. I just like a really neat, concise chart to look at as an astrologer. That's really all I need to see. Where is everything at? Okay, then we can begin to unpack and interpret how these energies are impacting each other and interacting with each other. So as you can see here, where we have the sun and the moon together, this little circle with a line sticking out of it at 0 degrees and 0 solar arc minutes. That just means all those zeros indicates an exact, and with that circle with the line sticking out of it, exact alignment, exact conjunction. The sun and the moon are together at exactly 10 degrees and 37 solar arc minutes in the sign of Cancer at the time of this lunation coming up, the solar eclipse, July the 2nd. Okay, so that's first things first. The sun and the moon are together in Cancer. Then as we go down and look at other planetary bodies that are interacting with the sun and the moon at this time, because that's going to be significant energetically, then we see Uranus. there we see Uranus, but there's a circle with a line sticking out of it again, but then we've got this antenna looking thing on top. That is the glyph, astrological glyph for Uranus. And so we can see that there's a sextile relationship. This asterisk is considered a sextile relationship between the new moon and Uranus. Okay, so if you've been following Mama Dada Astrology and you're familiar, you already know that sextiles are divine opportunities. They're not the triangle, they're not the trine where it's easy and effortless, but there's an opportunity for harmony. There's an opportunity for flow and ease. But this is the aspect when I look at the asterisk or the sextile aspect between any two planets or points, I automatically think if I take a step in the direction, let's say, of this Uranus energy, which as we continue to unpack it, you'll begin to see a lot of the consistent keywords for Uranus come out. Awareness, revelation, unexpected, sudden reversals, a breakthrough. That's my favorite, I think, Uranus keyword, breakthrough. Then you can kind of see, and wherever there's Uranus, there's a need to be flexible. There's a need to keep an open mind, okay? Because you don't know what's coming with Uranus. It's sudden, it's unexpected, it can be out of the blue. Those reversals where things are going one way, then in a blink of an eye, they're going a completely different way. When you don't know what to expect, the moon is in, as of this recording, the moon is in Aquarius, as it turns out. Yes. And so even more so, Uranus rules Aquarius. I just was double checking myself. But wherever there is this unexpected energy, there's a need for flexibility. And so there's just before we even just really unpack this thing, so far all you know about the looming Cancer solar new moon eclipsing is that it's forming a sextile to Uranus. And so there's going to be a divine opportunity. And my other favorite keyword for Uranus is just simply change. There's going to be an opportunity to change, likely change your mind. And y'all know that all is meant. If you're attracted to this type of information, then you already know that all is mental. Uranus is actually a higher octave of Mercury. And so even more so, all is mental, where our awareness is concerned, where these eureka and aha moments are concerned, where something finally clicks and we get it. We just get it. We may not even realize how we got it, but we know we get it now, and we know that the best way forward through these cycles is to stay open. That we don't know what's coming. We don't know what this summer of eclipse energy and Mercury retrograde, and what's Mercury retrograde going to bring back, and it's in Cancer, you know, the sign of the past and all this. So we're going to break all that down here right out the gate. The wisdom is stay open-minded, stay flexible, stay open to change. The only thing constant in this world is change. So the more we are open to it and flexible and willing to go with, you know, adjustments needing to be made, corners needing to be turned, then it'll be the better. There's going to be a divine opportunity to change. We should take it. Okay, and we'll go even deeper. Here you'll also see that there is a conjunction to the North Node. It is 6 degrees separating, so it's very weak and loose, but it is there, so just know. And much like other eclipses, it all has this really, the eclipses are eclipses because the nodes are involved. Every new moon is not, and full moon is not an eclipse because they don't all involve the nodal axis. When they do involve the nodal axis, they are therefore eclipses and no longer simply or nearly new and full moons, okay? And so that is the first slide. Let's keep going. Thank you so much for joining me on this new journey. I've been on the radio. I've been broadcasting on Blog Talk Radio for years. And so to migrate over finally to the YouTube platform is just, it's part of my personal evolution as well, and the evolution of what I call a healing ministry. So thank you for joining me for the ride. Let's go. So I just put up some brief information about these two eclipses that are going on this summer. The first one here on July the 2nd, a total solar eclipse. I believe this came from timeanddate.com. That's on the last slide of sources as well. And then the next one after that is July 16th, 17th, depending on where you are in the world, and it is a partial lunar eclipse. This one is in Capricorn. Timeanddate.com isn't a strictly astrological site, and so they're not going to put that this first one, July 2nd, is in Cancer, and that this second one, July 16th, 17th, is in Capricorn. So I'm just mentioning it. That's why I do the presentations. Yes, you can order the slides. They're always going to be $1.99. You can always order the slideshow so you can, zoom in and, do all kind of cool stuff when you actually have access to it. But the presentation video, of course, free right here on YouTube, is to help explain, if you need that explanation, if you are desirous or curious about my personal interpretation, then you're getting it right here. Solar eclipses in general, this is just general information about solar eclipses, not specifically about this one in Cancer coming up on the 2nd. But just so you'll have a general idea, what does an eclipse mean? What does a solar eclipse mean? And so you do see some information here about the sun being partially blocked out. And so there's a sense. Now, if you live in the United States, you can see up here, that's why I included on this slide, where it's not going to be visible to us. This first one's going to be visible in the south of North America, much of South America, and the Pacific. And you can see for the Capricorn one where you can see that from, okay? So yeah, a portion of North America, but most of us, many of us likely won't be able to see it ourselves, visible to the naked eye. So solar eclipse, when the sun is being eclipsed, just for those brief moments, it can feel energetically, spiritually, like a shadow is being cast over a certain area of our lives. Now, when you order a personalized, what I'll be doing is taking a slideshow presentation like this and personalizing it per request, where you will have your own personal slideshow so you can see where this Cancer, for example, where this Cancer solar new moon eclipse at 10 degrees and 37 solar arc minutes, where it happens to fall in your chart and what exactly that means for you. What aspects is the solar eclipse new moon in Cancer making to your personal chart? These are services, the types of services I've been providing for my mama's babies for quite a while. So, I mean, it's very helpful as a resource, not only to have this general slideshow to have access to, but your own personal one. Oh yeah, this particular eclipse, lunation, is happening in this area of my chart. Oh, this is a pretty important area of my chart. I really should, pay attention. I'm setting a tone here. And especially here at a solar eclipse, there's an element. First of all, because it's Cancer, the very sign of Cancer has elements of the past associated with it, okay? And then energetically here at a solar eclipse, there's a sense, and I highlighted it here, of taking care of unfinished business, something from the past. It needs a bow tied on it. It needs a bookmark, okay? The books on the shelf are going to fall over if they don't have the holder to hold them on the other end, book end, okay? And so this is a time where getting honest with ourselves is going to be very important. We can't deal with these I already mentioned that this summer we'll have a Mercury retrograde in the very sign of Cancer that this solar new moon eclipse is in. Let me go back and show you the chart so you can see. We got the sun and the moon. I already showed you them together. We have the north node. That's what's making this an eclipse. That together in Cancer. And then Mercury's going to retrograde. It's in Leo at the time of this lunation, but it's going to retrograde back into Cancer here over the summer, okay? And so there is a lot of energy in the sign of Cancer that is not preventing us from moving forward, but it is offering us, there's that sextile again, it's offering us an opportunity to get in touch with our roots, okay, with our past and our roots in ways now where these ahas and these revelations and this awareness and this breakthrough is bringing a fresh wind in. There's opportunity for a fresh wind to be blown in potentially some stale, stagnant, potentially kind of unsupported, shaky ground in our life that we could use a bit more, that we could use some divine help with. How about that? So here we have it, some more information on specifically the solar new moon eclipse in Cancer, not just generally any old solar eclipse, okay? Specifically this one, of course, Cancer is a sign at the very bottom of the chart wheel. In a traditional wheel, if we were to have Aries, it kind of is over here, starting on the left-hand side, the eastern horizon of the chart. But in a typical chart, 4 signs down from Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer would be directly kind of at the bottom. Ideally, it would be right here at the bottom, where the rest of the wheel sits on. Okay, so this is where the support, Cancer is talking about support and roots and foundation and family and home, okay, and the past. Our relationship with the past determines the strength and the sturdiness of our foundation that we build from, okay? Y'all are going to see that. I did a tarot pull. I prayed over the cards. I asked for 3 cards, past, present, and future, and a bottom of the deck card. And so you'll see how Spirit shows us along this journey through this presentation for the Cancer Solar New Moon Eclipse coming up here in about a week, July the 2nd. You'll see how getting that foundation right, Cancer, a water sign, emotions, feelings. I feel Cancer. I feel blank. I feel fill in the blank. How we feel, not only on July 2nd, but especially then. Monitor, y'all can see the time. It'll be 2:16 p.m. Central, 3:16 Eastern. Yeah, that would be a good indicator. How you feel at 2:16 p.m. Central on July the 2nd is going to be a good indicator of the foundation that you're laying for these cycles, not only that we're wrapping up, but the new ones that are starting, okay? A new moon is about beginnings. Let's get into it, okay? The end of what solar eclipse meaning. The new moon, new, brand new. Because it's something new, it necessarily is associated with the end of something else. So a new moon represents the end of one cycle and the beginning of a new cycle. Because this one is an eclipse, the effects and impact lasts about 6 months as opposed to about 1 month when the new moon is not an eclipse. So this is a good time. We're still. I dipped and dabbled into the specific Cancer interpretations where we're talking about family, but I'm back before I even just dive into that Cancer energy. Just the general solar eclipse, new moon interpretation. So we can unpack it slow. With that Uranus energy that you saw, the sextile to Uranus that we are experiencing, I think changes are going to be happening so fast. Uranus energy is fast. It's as fast as electricity. However fast it takes for you to flip a switch and the lights actually come on, that's pretty fast. That's Uranus. That's how suddenly things can change. And things are going to be changing, breaking through this Uranus energy, this breaking through, this revelation, these awarenesses, okay? And so there will be a need. We got two out of the four cards we pulled. Two of them are Pentacle cards. One Taurus and the other Virgo. And so there's already showing up, and even in Cancer, I showed you at the bottom of the wheel, that's where the foundation is. It's water, it's Cancer's water, it's not earth, but there's an earthiness to it, roots, family, property, home, this inner emotional foundation where you want it to be sturdy. You want your home to be secure. You want your emotions to be stable and steady and secure. You want to feel good regularly. We're in control of that. The motto for Cancer is I feel, not how others feel, how I feel. And so this is a good time to really get the ball rolling in a certain direction. As of the time of this recording, today is the 20th of June. Mercury just went into the retrograde zone today. So by the time we get to this lunation, it still won't be retrograde, but it'll be even closer to stationary retrograde. But there, just like I showed you with the end of one and the beginning of the next, there's just like people who are born on a cusp, you're a little bit of both. You can't really, until you get into that second decan, until you get into the middle of a sign where the energy is fixed and it's stubborn and determined, and it really, really is all the more of that energy. Then it's this blending, just like with Gemini season leading up to this Cancer eclipse, okay? The mutability of that last, when the seasons are changing. We're not yet into summer. We will be literally tomorrow is the summer solstice. But we're at the tail end of spring, so it's not really feeling so springy anymore. It's feeling really summery. So it's similar when these energies of the eclipse happen. It's not like, oh, July the 2nd is the solar new moon eclipse in Cancer, and then all the previous energy just cuts off and it doesn't exist anymore. No, these cycles are blending together, happening upon each other and unfolding, like I mentioned in the very beginning. So putting yourself at the forefront of these new plans, being proactive, any kind of new moon, solar new moon, eclipse energy, it's going to have this feeling of newness on it. It may not feel completely brand new, but a renewal. Especially when you see the cards that came out, it easily could be renewal. And we need to be at the front of all of those. If it's new or renewed, we need to be there. If there's an opportunity on the table, sextile to Uranus, if there's an opportunity on the table for renewal, if you're laying on a slab and they can rub the defibrillator together and pump you back to life, you're going to take it. If you want to live, you're going to say, zap me, shock me. You probably won't be in any condition to even consciously make that decision. But trust me, if you can be saved by electricity, hey, by being zapped and shocked that, under any other circumstance would be torturous, you're going to take it. And so there's a divine opportunity here for us to be reignited, okay? Reignited towards what we really want. Reignited towards our heart's truest desires. And you'll see a lot of these keywords I'm using show up when I start explaining the cards. But I'm just giving, obviously I know what the cards are, so I can kind of give these little verbal teasers, but I just am letting you know what I'm doing. So, you know, this is a really good time for new things, especially as it relates to a lot of Cancerian keywords like family, like your home, like property and real estate, like your inner emotional foundation and support. Cancer talks about emotional support. If you don't have that from anybody, I feel how you feel, you can support your own self through your feelings. So much so, if that's that, can you imagine having a sturdy emotional inner foundation? Can you imagine having a sturdy family, even if you don't come from a sturdy family, the family of one that you are before anybody else gets added in? That if that's sturdy, that everything else that relies upon that is going to be sturdy as a result. So there are keywords here that I've already mentioned about open-mindedness, but the patience and the hard work, that's that sturdiness. That's the sturdiness that you can offer your own self. Of patience, it's not always easy, but you'll see with the card even at the bottom of the deck, there's already mentioned that two of them are pentacles. The one at the bottom of the deck is one of them. And you'll see in the image that I'm going to show you that one pentacle in this person's hand, that's that ace. That's the one that represents trust. You can only be patient when you're able to trust. Okay, yeah, Cancer, all these things that are talking about the past and how you felt in the past, feelings of the past, things that may have rocked your inner emotional foundation in the past, things that may have shook up the support system you thought you had in the past. This is a big deal. Like, we're not just talking about in the past few weeks. This is an eclipse. This is talking about cycles 6 months and longer that have been happening upon each other, potentially for years. So, likely there has been a need for patience. There's definitely going to be a need for patience now, especially with you. Patience with yourself. Who said, I've been on my healing journey for at least 10 years. Am I supposed to get frustrated? Oh, well, you know, I'm still on my healing journey. Like, no, whoever said the healing journey had an expiration date on it? And so patience is part of that healing. It is emotionally healthy of us. We're talking about Cancer, feelings, emotions, water. And we're talking about this looming eclipse. So we need to be talking about patience with how we feel. It takes patience to even give a crap to go into how you feel. You got to sit there with, how do I feel? Because a lot of people, they don't even want to think about it. They just want that next drink. They just want that next deal, you know, that negotiation. That's how they get their, you know, kicks and all that stuff. They just want that next romantic partner. They're not trying to sit that. They just want that next, you know, TV show marathon. They are not trying to sit down and think about how they feel, assess how they feel, consider how they feel. They don't want to feel. I've been talking about this for years. It takes patience. And then not just hard work, but the hard heart, emotions, heart, the hard heart and smart work. Smart being the practicality of it all. More pentacle, earthy energy. It's so stabilizing. And it's so fortifying to our inner emotional foundations to be practical, to slow down. Once again, the sextile Uranus, things are going to be happening at breakthrough speed. We are barely probably going to be able to keep up with it all. but we'll be able to manage it from a place of emotional, you'll see with this first card that comes out, at least contentment. Emotional contentment. We'll be able to deal with things from that place. Cancer sometimes, and the fourth house is sometimes associated with people passing on because, okay, Cancer is the root, your roots, where you come from, your ancestors who have passed on. And obviously all of your roots and where you come from, you got still people that are still alive. That's awesome, thankfully. But there's a sense of that sometimes when this Cancer energy comes on the scene, if you've been observing the energy for any length of time. And so even if, God forbid, this eclipse seasons in general tend to involve people passing on a lot of times. A lot of times in my observation, I've seen it. So if that's, I was dealing with that at the top of the year, so I'm obviously not immune to it. But if that is something that you're going through, then here's that need for patience and trust again. Okay, so I'm just giving you these general themes, and then I'm bringing in this Cancer energy specifically into it. In one of the interpretations, they were talking about the unknown, you know, just like I was talking about with this Uranus energy on this eclipse. Unexpected. You don't know what to expect. It's not known to you. You don't know what's coming down the pike this Mercury retrograde Cancer Capricorn eclipsey summer. Okay? And so you can allow that to make you riddled with fear and anxiety and worry. Low vibrational Cancer. You know, Cancer is the mother and the breast. You know any worrying type mothers? That's not what we're doing here. You'll see here when I talk about the decan of Cancer that this eclipse is occurring in. You'll see Spirit showing us the way to tackle and take on this unknown. Okay, and so Uranus also governs the future. Uranus is a planet that talks about the future. And so once again, where we're talking about plans for the future, we're talking about putting ourselves at the forefront of it. That's the thing about Uranus energy. We can sit around and wait for change, you know, and being worried and anxious about change. Oh, we don't know what changes are coming up, so let's just brace ourselves and not do anything, or, you know, keep the drinks flowing. So whatever it is, we can deal with it. We can handle it. I hope y'all can't. I hope it's clear on y'all's screen, but on this end, it's showing some little patches of gray on this. So I hope it's fine. And once again, if you order the slideshow, you won't get any of these arrows, and the slides will be pristine. So, yeah. So as opposed to being riddled with fear, that's where the open-mindedness and the trust comes in. Okay. We don't know what's coming, but we know that we're going to cross over the threshold into July 2nd, 2:16 p.m. We're going to be crossing over that threshold with a sturdy, strong inner emotional foundation. We may not be able to trust certain people or any people, but we can trust us. We can trust how we feel. That's the beauty of Cancer and how we feel. And people who don't want to be in touch with their feelings will never know this security. They will never know this stability. They will never know this benefit that when you are in tune with how you feel and you're not afraid of it, then that's when you can be guided accurately. You can be guided with support, energetic support, divine support from inside out. And you don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be worried. You don't have to be anxious. You don't have to be riddled with fear. And so you can see that there's some interaction at this eclipse going on with Pluto, simply because, I'll show you real quick on the chart, that all of this Cancer energy that's been building. Venus is going to join the Cancer party pretty soon. It's already at 28 degrees at the time of this lunation. It only has 2 more to go. And so before it gets into Cancer territory. And all of this buildup of Cancer energy is directly opposite this buildup of Capricorn energy with Saturn, the South Node, and Pluto, primarily and namely Pluto. According to this interpretation, they wanted to point out the opposition to Pluto specifically, as Pluto governed Scorpio here in modern times. In ancient times, Mars governed Scorpio. To some people, it still does. But Scorpio is the sign of mystery, more unknown energy, darkness, hidden deep beneath the surface. And a sister water sign to Cancer. So I'm pointing that out because you'll see with our first card out, that Scorpio energy comes up. It's got something to say. You'll see with the very information of the second decan of Cancer that I'm going to show you that this Scorpio energy comes up. Pluto is the current ruler. Mars was the ancient ruler of Scorpio. Before Pluto was discovered, everybody said Scorpio is governed by Mars, okay? And so here in this interpretation, I just highlighted the past. It's a time for like one of the interpretations literally says that this solar eclipse in Cancer coming up on July 2nd is a really good one for letting go of the past, and also uses the phrase, the word closure. Okay, so you'll see how this is all going to be unfolding and making sense. Let's keep going. The second decan of Cancer is ruled by, guess what? Scorpio, and Pluto, also Mars. Okay, you'll see in this interpretation goes by the ancient ruler Mars, and this the chart that I pulled this image from is going by the modern ruler Pluto. Okay, but either way you slice it, this particular graphic shows Mars being the ruler, and some keywords for this Cancer decan being caring, possessive, artistic or creative, because that's Mars is very much so that, and then full of energy and practical. There's that word again. Okay, so the very decan of Cancer, wherever 10 degree, the first degree starts the first decan. That 10th degree starts the second decan, and then that 20th degree starts the third. So if this one's at 10 degrees, it is at the very beginning of the second decan. Okay, the dates would be around July the 2nd through July the 12th, and people born in this decan, they have a lot of Martian, Plutonian, Scorpionic energy that they carry. Cancer decan too, I highlighted over here specifically. This describes Scorpio's strong psychic abilities. Know a Scorpio? They're kind of psychic AF. And so this, you'll see when the cards come out, this comes into play. These psychic equals emotion. That's why the poor, pitiful people, no shade, no judgment, just facts. It's pathetic. And I get it. I've been there where it's too hard. When you've been through trauma, when there's PTSD going on, it can be very difficult to even want to feel anything at all. It can be very difficult to not to want to be numb to everything because it all just hurts a little too much. But this is this is where the healing journey begins. That's why it's the foundation, the bottom of the wheel, and the chart, and the life. Because when you can begin to heal how you feel by first acknowledging how you feel, it'll come. Once you get further along in the healing journey, you go from just acknowledging how you feel to doing something about how you feel, especially if you don't like it. So this decan that is being activated for everyone has this Martian, Plutonian feel to it. we've already seen Pluto and Mars come up because of where they fall in this actual lunation. We've got Pluto opposite it, okay? And we've got Mars right there close to it. Mars and Mercury already had their exact alignment in Cancer. So this obviously is from about a week from now. So it's just a bit more progressed into Leo already at that time. So let's keep going. So far, what we've got this Cancer new moon solar eclipse. Cancer relating to family, property, real estate, the past, our roots, how we feel, our support system, how we support ourselves, especially emotionally, tending to how we feel. And we've gotten this influence of Mars and Pluto, which is what? Action, force, power, creativity. Okay, I'm just pointing it out because you'll see it come up here going forward, and that these strong psychic or strong emotional abilities, this strong ability to be in tune with how you feel, that's what makes you psychic. If you're in tune with how you feel, you're going to be tapped into others that much more easily. It's not psychic, it's just, it's not some magical power per se, it's just the willingness, willpower, the willingness to go there with yourself. It takes a willingness to look at things honestly, taking care of unfinished business. If you need courage, if you need to be brave, you need Mars and Pluto. And Mars and Pluto are here to help us with this unfinished business and to help us face the truth, the facts, honestly. That's the only way to heal. And so we were just seeing how these strong emotional abilities help guide us through any decision making. I just wanted to point that out. It's going to come up again. Okay, and now just broke down for you a little bit further some things I had already been mentioning. The newness that a sextile to Uranus can bring. The influence and impact of like I said before, it may not be new, it may be renewed. A renewal with your interaction with particular organizations or groups. Here's this creative word again. Not only is creativity depicted in Mars, and Pluto, but also Uranus. Once again, the brilliance, the ingenuity, and the genius aspect of Uranus, the eureka. You don't know how you know it. How did George Washington Carver know all of these uses for a freaking peanut? He just knew, and it just kind of impacted history. So changes, of course, I already talked about the major keyword for Uranus being change, and positive change with the sun sextile to Uranus. With the moon sextile to Uranus, it incorporates more of our feelings and feelings about breakthrough, our feelings about this new fresh energy, like I said, this fresh wind, this fresh breath that experimenting can offer. I was starting to say before, as opposed to waiting for change or being afraid and having anxiety around potential for change, which is always there since change is constant, then there's an open-mindedness and there's a trust and there's a patience when we embrace change and when we allow ourselves to open our mind with Uranus, step outside the box, think outside the box, experiment, let our freak flag fly. Uranus is about our original unique fingerprint, us as individuals, and being more comfortable with that, with us. Then you really get to do what that other interpretation said and get ahead, get to the forefront of this change, you initiating the changes, especially as it relates to all the Cancerian energy that we've already been discussing, how we feel, getting ahead of that. I don't, for instance, I don't know what's going to be happening on July the 2nd around 2:16 p.m. Central. But I know that in order to get ahead of it, I want to make sure, especially if we're charging up this area of space that has to do with how we feel. I know at that time and day, I want to feel good. You'll see that in the very first card out. That's on the table. That card is on the table. Feeling good. Let's see how we get there. Let's see how we get ahead of the energy and make sure that we get there. Let's see more of it, because we already see intending, setting the intention. We saw on the other interpretation, write it. This is a new moon, goals, writing it down, intentions and goals. It's a good time to do it. I intend to feel good July the 2nd at 2:16 p.m. Central. I intend to feel secure and steady and stable and firm in my emotional foundation. I intend to feel supported by myself first and then others at that time. You see, we're just keeping it simple. And everything else builds on that. That's the whole thing about Cancer being at the bottom of the chart. When we set that feeling in place and in motion and we secure that, then we can rest assured everything else is going to fall everything else is going to be built on top of that firm foundation, and it will last. Okay? And we need it. Uranus right now is in Taurus, and so Uranus brings that breakthrough. Uranus brings the change to right now to an area, Taurus, that is Earth, that is, a fixed energy Taurus on the low vibration, very stubborn and doesn't want to move and doesn't want to budge, But Uranus is in Taurus now to budget. Uranus is in this Earth energy to break up that fallow ground. You can't plant seeds in hard, untended to. You have to prepare soil to plant a seed. And so Uranus, this same Uranus that at the time of this lunation is being sextiled harmoniously by the sun and the moon, is an energy that is really breaking out. I'm just getting here in the word breakout. I know here on the screen we've got breakdown, we've got revolution, we've got new. But yeah, this buildup of energy, I'm sensing breakout. Okay, and so yeah, breaking out. I see us breaking out into more of who we are uniquely as individuals. Aside from the programming that's taking place in our society, if you are a spiritual person, you're not allowing yourself to be programmed anyway. And so this really is a time for the uniques. If y'all saw that movie, what was it, Autumn in New York, with Winona Ryder and Richard Gere. And she called herself in that movie a unique. She made these weird, funky hats, and they were very unique. And then he and her, she identified herself as unique, and he agreed. And so I see this solar eclipse providing an opportunity by way of this sextile energetically for the unique. Anything that is unique, anything that's a little freaky and considered weird and considered, outside of the box, out of the blue. Hey, there's a time and season for everything under the sun, and this particular solar eclipse is providing an opportunity while we are keeping in mind what's closing out. Uranus represents something new. We've got new, we've got new, we've got new. And so we've got this new moon, and then Uranus representing all the more something new, or like I said before, renewed. And so whenever we saw that on one of the very first slides, whenever we have something new, that necessarily means that something is ending. Okay, we're needing to close out something else to make way for the new that is here. Okay, And so I just added some more information. When you order the slideshow, you can take your time and go through some of this stuff. I'm just pointing out what resonates with the message Spirit's channeling through me regarding this particular lunation. But you just never know what information someone's going to resonate with. That's why I wanted to do it in this slideshow format, because we're all different. I'm a word nerd, so I like words. I like keywords. All that makes so much more sense to me, and it positions me to even be able to explain it to other people. So take what resonates, leave the rest. Let your freak flag fly. Say that 5 times fast. Let your freak flag fly. And these intuitive flashes, the aha moments, the eureka moments, if you can't follow up on them immediately or don't feel, see, we're being asked to be patient and to trust. So something may flash in an instant. You may want to write it down because it may be relevant later. It may not be for right now. That's just a FYI and a heads up. It could be. If your gut is telling you something, get the hell out of there right now. That may be for right now. But that's where the being in touch with how you feel comes into play, because you will know. Cancer, I feel. You will know. And especially that second deacon that's ruled by Mars and Pluto and the psychology and all that, the hidden, you will know, and you'll know it on the level of your emotions. You'll know it on the level of your of spirit. You'll know it on the level of the realm you can't see. Intuitive flashes. Can you see intuition? Okay. Especially in Taurus, Uranus in Taurus could be bringing awareness to really earthy things. In Taurus, those things are what our possessions, what we own, whatever it is, clothes, furniture, jewelry. It doesn't matter. Okay, and that has to do with how we feel about ourselves, our worth, our value, our self-esteem, our self-confidence. And so there could be awarenesses and insights and revelations coming to us in these areas. As they come, like I said, this is a good time to write, jot things down, record things. If you're not a writer, record it. Record yourself on video or audio, so you can reference it later. Okay, another reason why a presentation video like this, the slideshows are good for referencing later. Uranus brings the revolution. We saw that keyword already as well. Revolution. You may need revolution to come to your finances. The solar eclipse in Cancer, sextiling Uranus, is providing a divine opportunity for Uranus and Taurus to be made manifest in a high vibration in our life. That's why we're taking a look at it, going through these slides, taking a look at it, because then you get to see how you feel about it. How do you feel about your income, Taurus? Your possessions, your income has afforded you these particular possessions. How do you feel about that? Okay, however you feel about it, there's an opportunity that this Cancer solar new moon eclipse is creating for us to close out certain things, to make way for breakthrough and innovation and newness and breakthrough in these particular areas, wherever Cancer second deacon is in your chart, and likely wherever Uranus in Taurus is in your chart. Revolutionize sensuality, okay? And so also Taurus has to do with the 5 senses and any sensual pleasures thereof. Sight, sound, taste, smell, touch. And so, like I said before with the defibrillator, like maybe we're being reignited in these ways. Maybe you've lost touch with your sensuality, and that has affected your self-esteem and your confidence and your self-worth, how you feel about yourself, which is going to impact that money, honey. So this is all on the table to be looked at. Awareness and awakening is something else that Uranus does. And you could be being awakened, reawakened to how you create financial stability for yourself first. Okay. And so, uh, the interaction, the relationship that you have with Earth, the relationship you have with earthy things, crystals, candles, although those aren't natural, crystals, and oils and herbs, and especially if do you know a Taurus, they're kind of into food just a little bit. So even that, even your interaction with food and natural foods and natural things could be reignited. Okay, there could be an opportunity there if you allow it. If you, even with Uranus, initiating the rebuilding of your relationship with earthy things, okay? And so that's really all I wanted from those, just to kind of break down more of this Uranus and Taurus energy, because it is the major player here. And so we might as well get in the insides and dig all around, especially with the second deacon of Cancer being motivated by Mars and Pluto. You'll see it when the cards come out, how that's being highlighted by Spirit through the cards as well. These wands, this fire, this Martian energy, this Plutonian energy that wants to move us forward from the inside out, us initiating the move forward, not waiting for the house of cards to fall. And so we have no other choice. Okay, y'all, the spread, the Cancer solar new moon eclipse spread straight from Spirit to us. We've got the Six of Cups in the past position. We've got the Two of Wands in the present, the Ten of Pentacles in our future, and the Six of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. I love this off the top because the very card in the past position is a card that talks about the past. And we're in a Cancer solar new moon season. So that'll be starting on July the 6th. That'll be exact on July the 6th. Trust me, it's already begun. You can tell that by the Cups card being in the past. When I look at my past card, I also look at the energy that we're bringing with us into the future, okay? That it sets it off. So it's manifold in my interpretation when I'm looking at a past, present, future spread. But yeah, the Six of Cups is a card of the past in the past position. You can look at that as leaving the past in the past. You'll see as we go further along in the interpretation. I don't believe in throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Certain things of the past, it's okay to reminisce about, look back on, and bring with you. And certain things, I wouldn't recommend it. As my auntie Iyanla Van Zant says, it will not work out well for you, beloved. So we've got the past in the past. In the present, you can see us looking towards the future while we're taking action. Wands are, that is that fire, that Mars, that Pluto, right here in the present position. That's right now. That's active. Mars talks about action, and it's actively in our present, helping fuel us forward to the future. The Ten of Pentacles. Who doesn't want the ultimate card of, we've been talking about security this whole time. Cancer at the bottom of the chart, inner emotional foundation. Who wouldn't want the contentment of your inner emotional foundation to lead to that ultimate material, Taurus, possessions, finances? Who wouldn't want that to lead to the ultimate immaterial satisfaction, fulfillment, culmination, where we are regenerating ourselves and our wealth? Not just the wealth of finances, but like I said when I was talking about Taurus, the wealth of self-confidence, the wealth of self-esteem, the wealth of self-value, valuing yourself, the wealth of knowing that you're priceless and a price tag cannot be put on you. which leads to the bottom of the deck card. When you know you're priceless, you look at this Six of Pentacles card with these three images, and you will know that you are the one with holding the scales in your hand. You are the one with the ace, that one pentacle in your hand. You're not the one of the ones down here asking or begging. I kind of see the begging, but it could just be asking. Even if you're in a position to ask, that you will look at this card and you'll know that that's not you. So let's dive in, guys. Six of Cups. I'm interpreting this card in the context of this spread. I put up some general and traditional interpretations of what the Six of Cups means. But this particular Six of Cups in this spread, for me, via my interpretation, is saying, especially when we're talking about Cancer and the past and how we feel and our family and our roots and our childhoods with the Six of Cups, if you are going to be, while these cycles are happening upon each other, the end of some and the beginning of others, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Take what actually does feel good. Six of Cups representing simplicity, just simple joys, like a child, just simple joys and warmth. There's a warmth in the Six of Cups. There's tender, loving care here in the Six of Cups. There's healing here in the Six of Cups because it feels so damn good. There's goodwill. There's good luck. And at the beginning and end of the day, even if it has nothing to do with children, this is just a card of contentment. Just contentment. Take what feels content. It doesn't feel, it's the very opposite of what I was mentioning earlier. It doesn't feel anxious. It doesn't feel worried. It doesn't feel hurried. It's not in a hurry. Taurus wants to take off its shoes and walk barefoot in the grass. Ain't got nowhere to go. Just want to eat some good food and chill in the sun. Like, take what feels content and leave the rest. We're as long as we're alive, like I said, unless this is your first cycle, eclipse cycle, then these cycles have been happening throughout your life. This is not your first energetic, spiritual, emotional rodeo. And it won't be the last. And so we're here at a crux point, eclipse point, where cycles are ending, others are beginning. What do we take with us? What do we leave behind? You'll see here, I gotta spoil it because it goes with what I'm saying right now. You'll see, I already spoiled it, the Two of Wands. But you'll see with the Two of Wands that whenever I see this card, I see one door opening and another closing. It's much like the Four of Wands. This is a card of a portal for me. You're walking through a door, and so you're leaving some room or area behind for the sake of going into a new one. You can't be in both at the same time. You can't face both at the same time. You can't face your future while being stuck on the past. So that's what this card represents. You'll see here, I just got through talking about reigniting and awakening. And here they're relating that to the past. So something in the past could be reignited here at the crux of the Cancer and the exactness on the July the 2nd. Eclipse seasons, they begin energetically even 3 months before. And they really are so closely knit with the eclipses that happen before and after them that even 6 months before, So something either has been or will be reignited from the past. You see here reunion, reminiscing. It could just be reignited in your mind. Something occurs that all of a sudden you thought something had faded away or vanished, and now it's coming back, triggered, something like that. Okay, and so there's a second chance with this Six of Cups. There's something familiar. This is a card of familiarity. Okay, that's why it's associated with the past. And so whatever it is, it's coming back up either within you, because Cancer is the emotions. It could just be coming up within you, where you're like, well, Cancer's where you support yourself. Why don't I have any help? Why don't I have any support? Why am I the only one supporting me? And maybe all of a sudden with this Cancer eclipse, you're feeling a certain type of way about it. There's some unfinished business here. You got to remember, we're having to get real honest with ourselves. And so maybe I used to be married and all this stuff. And okay, we're getting a second chance to reawaken and an awareness to this contentment, the simple joys, the healing gifts. All of it wasn't bad. Take what actually did feel good, warm, tender, and loving, and focus on the feeling, not the person, but focus on the feeling. Going back to something you love, not someone you love. Going back to that feeling of love, okay? And taking and bringing forward. Remember, the past card is the energy we're bringing with us. That's one of the ways that I look at it. And so we're bringing with us what feels good. We're bringing with us what's simple and joyful, like when we were children. Like, it don't have to be that damn difficult. It could all be so simple, but we make it hard because we don't want to feel. And so take what feels good, leave the rest. Where we're going, only good feelings can be used and are necessary. This is a time of when you're at that door. You can't take everything with you on the journey. Just look at the fool. He has the one little fanny pack bag and his little dog. He got his little meal, he got a change of underwear, and he got his dog. Okay? It's going to feel good when he finally bathes to put on a clean pair of underwear. And it's going to feel good when he finally gets somewhere and settle down to eat and have his little man's best friend with him. Take what feels good, leave the rest. When it comes to family, Cancer, when it comes to family roots, where you come from, take what resonates with you and leave the rest. Maybe you come from, I do a lot of research on narcissists and things like that. I'm very interested in psychology. You'll see here coming up, this is a very psychological energy. The Six of Cups is the Sun and Scorpio card. We've already been going over the Mars and Pluto and Scorpio information, and it's here. I told you it would be here again, and it is. It's in the first two cards, Scorpio, because this is the Sun and Scorpio card, and then the Two of Wands card that's next is the Mars and Aries card. So just Scorpio, Mars, and Plutonian energy on top of each other. So in this regard and in this respect, and when we're talking psychological and all that stuff, it can be deep. Narcissism, family. What if you don't come from like many of us? What if you come from a dysfunctional family? Okay, take what feels good, warm, tender, loving, and leave the rest. What if nothing feels good, warm, tender, and loving? Chunk it. Know that this Cancer solar new moon eclipse is giving you a divine opportunity for a breakthrough, a divine opportunity for a newness when it comes to family for you. Maybe there's a breakthrough and you'll be creating your own new family, but it'll be based on how you feel about the past. That's why how you feel it really is important. How do you feel about the past? How do you feel about something coming back? Okay, the negative is the past repeating itself, bad memories, living in the past, as opposed to, okay, if something comes back up and it felt good, warm, tender, and loving, or it does now, then by all means, take it. Everything else, leave it. It's so simple. Once again, it's so simple. A child could do it. Feels good, take it. Doesn't feel good, leave it. Simple. So the Sun in Scorpio card here with the Six of Cups just has, with the blue arrow, the soul or sun is the planetary body that rules the second decan of Scorpio, which the Six of Cups represents. Mysteries, like I said before with Mars and Pluto, the hidden, the unknown, the mysterious, the occult, hidden secrets about ourselves. It doesn't have to be so deep, y'all. It could just be, like I said, our own psychology. That's what I'm saying. It could be real deep psychological when this Cancer energy, as it's being ignited in our lives and really comes to the fore, our feelings, how we feel, I feel. And so as things come up, especially in our feelings that may have been hidden, there's a light being shown on it for a reason. Don't run from it. Just take what feels good and leave the rest. But look at it, examine it thoroughly. Scorpio goes deep. It's not just surface level. We're transformed by the truth. We're transformed at this time by looking at how we feel honestly. And like I said, further along in the process, you'll actually start to do something about it. Even with this next card with the wands, we're going to be doing something about it. Don't you worry. But right now, we got to look at it honestly and get deep and get all up under in the closet, the skeletons and all that stuff, all that in the dark, the hidden stuff. From the heart, that's the way that's why we have to be in touch with our feelings, because we got to do this from the heart. We can't just, oh, well, let's just sleep with it. This is not the season, not during an eclipse anyway season, and certainly not during an eclipse season that incorporates Cancer and how we feel. We're not going to be able to run and hide from it. It's only going to make things a lot worse, especially with the Uranus energy, in the air. Uranus don't play like that. Pluto doesn't play like that. Oh, you're going to transform. Something's going to die and be reborn. We might as well just be open-minded, open-hearted, willing to embrace change now, especially changes in how we feel. Maybe you've been holding grudges, like they said, living in the past. Maybe you've been living in the past, holding grudges since childhood about something. And now we're being given a divine opportunity to transform that and take that passion, the same passion it takes to really just be holding a grudge on somebody for years, and transform ourselves and subsequently others. Pluto is not about selfishness. Pluto, it better be for the highest good of everybody involved, or it's really going to hurt. And more of the, like I said, with Pluto and Scorpio, more of the unknown being highlighted. So like I say, how you feel deep, maybe you forgot. Even when y'all will see and hear my story unfold as more of these videos come out, more interaction with you guys on a personal level. But along my healing journey, I forgot about some very significant traumas. I just forgot. I suppressed it, repressed it, and I suppressed it, and then it got repressed. And then, a cycle happened. Maybe it was an eclipse. I don't consciously know. I wasn't studying astrology then. But a cycle happened, and all of a sudden, Uranus, Eureka, aha, I was like, you know what? This is not the truth. The truth is this, but I guess that truth was so hard to accept and understand, especially at a young age, and it was so traumatizing, psychologically breaking, that I just let it go, and it came right on back. And that's what this Cancer energy can do. It really can, the past can repeat itself. Things can come back up in your emotions. Once again, you can't see emotions. You can't pack up an emotion, put it in a box, bury it. It doesn't work like that. And so if things are coming up, things that you didn't realize were even there or had forgotten about, they're coming up for you to deal with. Trauma doesn't feel good, warm, tender, and loving, so you can leave that, but you can take what you learn. You can take the lessons. You can take the gratitude that you're not that young person anymore getting traumatized, that you're far removed from that trauma with the distance of time and space, but it's coming back around in your current present time and space, energy, emotions to be dealt with, to be discriminatingly dealt with. What feels good? What is beneficial? What can I use? And what needs to be left behind? What is not useful? Okay? Moving on to the Two of Wands. Now it's time to take action here in the present, boldly and bravely deciding to move forward. Okay, we determined what we could use and what we couldn't, what felt good and what didn't, and with what's left, just like that Fool card. Okay, he didn't take all of his earthly possessions. He took what was necessary and then boldly, bravely decided to move forward, taking the leap of faith. Okay. And so once again, we're stepping through a portal. Once we make that decision, what we're taking with us, what we're not, then we go through the portal. Okay, low vibrational, fear of change. When this Two of Wands is reversed, we don't want to move forward. We don't want to look forward. We're afraid of what, change is ahead. So how perfect is it that this card came up? But, this is where that decision comes into play. You remember I showed you where, as it related to decisions, that these same Cancerian feelings and emotions, aka intuition, psychic ability, is what was going to help guide us with our decision making. And then we see here, when it's time to make a decision, now, in the present, that we make the decision that satisfies that Uranus energy. Look, originality, that's a Uranus keyword. Unknown, okay? Personal, just like that fingerprint, Uranus. You're the only one with your fingerprint. That makes you unique. That makes you a freak. That makes you weird. That makes you original. And so this Two of Wands is also talking about making a decision based on who we are, what we uniquely need, what we uniquely want. Not based on fear. We don't want to be afraid. We don't want to be afraid of change. We want to initiate change, certain changes that we know are necessary for this new world that's opening up to us. We're walking out of one world through this door and portal into a whole new world that doesn't have anything to do with what we left behind. It has to do with everything that we decided to take with us. Okay, and so there's options, but with any two, there's a decision to be made. And with the Wands, it could be, Wands is movement. It's forward movement, bravely deciding to move forward. As we're moving forward into a new thing, we have necessarily had to leave something behind. It may seem suddenly to them, or it may seem suddenly on the outside looking in, but this has come with, contemplation. You don't rush yourself through this Six of Cups energy. Because you don't want to keep reliving the past and repeating the past. So make sure that you're sure. Make sure. That's why you want to do it from a place of contentment, Six of Cups. You want to do it from a place of warmth and goodness and simplicity and healing, because it's deep. And so there's a withdrawal in this card, especially, once again, this is major eclipse seasons, all this stuff. This is impactful for months and years to come. And it's impacting months and years coming as we're closing certain things out. So it may have been some years coming, some months coming. And so, yeah, this is a good time to withdraw. And that's what happens when you decide to move forward. You necessarily leave something behind. you decide to walk through that door, you necessarily leave an area or room behind. So, also, once again, the sudden return. They're just Mercury retrograde looming, sudden return here, reunion here. There's a lot of indicators that something or someone could be returning. Even like I said, let's just deal with the energy first, then we can get into people. But energetically, a fire energy, here, a water energy with the Six of Cups, but could be a Scorpio coming back with the Six of Cups, could be an Aries coming back with this Two of Wands. But something is returning once again to be dealt with. If whatever's returning once again, if it can be beneficial, if it feels good, let it stay. Everything that comes back to you, you don't have to keep it. You don't have to. You're not stuck with it. That's the whole point. There's power. This is a Mars and Aries card. This is the card of the Lord of Dominion. Dominion. Power. This is the Lord of Dominion. And so there are decisions to be made here, very physical decisions with this card. Stay or go. Go into this door or not. And there's a boldness, okay? There's a balance. It's the two. So there's a balance in it. That's what I'm saying. This is not, decisions aren't being made in the present. They may be being made boldly and bravely, but not the lower vibration of Mars where it's immature and it's, impulsive, and it's not that. It's very deliberate. It's been planned. It may seem sudden to other people, but you have been planning it. Okay? Or you are planning it. You are planning it, and you're Mars and Aries, I just broke that down. And it feeds on that Six of Cups message where we're discerning what to take and what to leave. This suggests that you should take charge of the things that fall in your domain. I just said Two of Wands is the Lord of Dominion, what you have dominion over. But leave alone things that are outside the realm of your control. And knowing the difference is that serenity prayer. Serenity sounds a lot like contentment, huh? With that Six of Cups. What works, what doesn't? It's real simple. Simple joys with the Six of Cups. What works, what doesn't? What feels good, what doesn't? What I can do something about, what I can't. I can't help this memory coming back. I can't help this person coming back, but I can help how I engage with it. If I take it or leave it, I can help that. And so the blue arrow once again points to Mars ruling the first decan of Aries, which the Two of Wands card represents. There's exploration going on. You can see on the card, they're exploring the future, what's to come. They're not stuck in the past. This is the present card, and in the present we're showing up as looking to the future, whether we're literally looking to this Cancer new moon solar eclipse coming up July the 2nd, whether we're looking towards our summer season, that this Cancer is the sign, it's a cardinal sign. It initiates, it starts the whole summer season. So a tone is being set here. And we're being shown to be at the forefront. Mars, first fire planet that rules the first fire sign, Aries. We're being shown to be at the forefront of this change, boldly, powerfully, with dominion, making decisions in balanced ways, not impractical, impatient ways. And so Mars and Aries, powerful beginnings. This card represents in the present, we can we can create some powerful beginnings. We're at a new moon, new beginning, and it's a solar eclipse. So powerfully impacting the past with this new beginning. How you end a thing impacts how the next new thing is started, and how you start a thing really says a lot about what's being left behind and ended. So this is a time of initiation. Aries really is not going to do anything but win. There is a sense of immediacy, a drivenness, moving forward. We're boldly deciding to do that. Not necessarily the planning, but the moving forward, and then pushing ourselves, toning our bodies and minds, and participating. As opposed to Mars is always triumphant because Mars takes action. Mars is not sitting around talking about it. Mars is being about it. Mars stays ready to go. So Mars is not like waiting on anything. And that's why Mars is triumphant. They say the early bird gets the worm. I promise you, Mars is that early bird. Mars was up before the birds. And so Mars is not sitting here planning, well, you know what, when this I'm going to do this, then Mars is like, boop. There's an intuition. Remember, because we're staying in tune with how we feel, we have those psychic abilities. We know what moves to make. We don't have to be in this eternal planning phase. We can make power moves. We can make money moves based on the power inherent in how that is inherent in having a relationship with how we feel. The power that is inherent in having a strong, sturdy inner emotional foundation. This energy doesn't necessarily play well with others. When you're stay ready to go, okay, everybody else not always ready to go when you're ready to go. When you're at the forefront, you tend to have a lot of haters because everybody's not bold and brave enough to be on the front lines. And so don't expect right now for this to be a time that you're just, a lot of cooperation, a lot of what do you call that when you collaborations, okay? Don't necessarily, this is not in all cases, it's not for everyone. I'm talking about the energy. Some people like Mars and Aries energy, and other people, they get along really well with that. You'll know based on your chart and your energy. But a lot don't. Many don't. And so when you're we're all kind of, Mars is about self. It rules Aries. I am, I, self, me. and that, once again, there's a time and season for everything. This is that time. When you're boldly and bravely deciding to move forward, you can't, they're the only one on this card. You can't really take everybody's opinions into consideration. You already got a lot of options and decisions to make. So that's going to be based on uniquely you, personally you, originally you. What is best for you? What do you need in order to move forward in a balanced way? What do you need? What decisions do you need to make to move forward boldly, balanced, powerfully? What do you need in order for your will, Mars, to flow effortlessly in perfect acts of creation instead of the cycles that we want to break free from? Okay, so let's see here. We end up with the Ten of Pentacles, this ultimate material completion card, as opposed to the reversal of this card with the failure and the loss. Okay, this shows that we took that stability, that inner emotional foundation that feels really pensacly and earthy when we're doing it right, when we're engaging with how we feel and tending to it, creating that firm, steady, sturdy foundation. That ends up in the ultimate in long-term security. Not just security, but long-term security. Okay, there's an unexpected element in this too. With this Uranus attached to the solar eclipse in Cancer, and then Uranus is in Taurus at that money, something could really get activated for some of us as it relates to unexpected interaction with wealth, unexpected interaction with a larger sum of money, unexpected interaction with old money, okay? And to us, it would be that new money. It would be new to us and probably old to the person that we're having that interaction with or the institution, okay? So I put for this one that the results of the heart smart work and the regeneration, because this is only going to follow us. Look at that first card with the representing children, okay? And then we got that next one that kind of shows this adult that we come into now that we are learning how to make decisions. We're learning how to decide what feels good and what needs to be left behind. And then we get to, you see the older gentleman on here, you know, and it's like, okay, we've been doing this thing a while, and now we can pass it down. We've been doing this thing a while. It's been proven. We're getting the results, and now we can pass it down. And obviously the exact opposite would be true if we're not learning these emotional lessons, energetic lessons, that these cycles are converging upon each other to kind of check in on us to see if we have learned or not. Are we really going to keep living the same past over and over? Are we really going to keep living in the past for years upon years? It resulting in a collapse of an empire, or feuding or fighting or failure or loss? Or are we going to flip it and be consistent when it comes? The heart smart worked. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. We're either going to deal with how we feel or we're not. We're either going to look forward and move, not only look, but with these wands, move forward. Make that decision and then put some action behind it, or we're not. If we do, we get wealth. And whatever that means to you, what I love about this card is that it represents permanence. It represents passing on and handing down. It represents changes for the better. If you do, things will change for the better. This card represents things settling down, or you settling down. If you do, you might end up settling down into your own family. Cancer rules family. We end up with a family card in the future position. This is what we're heading smack dab towards, head first into. This card represents domestic harmony. Maybe there has been disharmony in the family. When you prioritize how you feel based on whether it feels good or content or not, and when you actually do something about how you feel, actually make decisions and explore your options and withdraw and move forward, then things are going to settle down. You're going to experience domestic harmony. You're going to experience results from your hard work. You're going to experience promotion and extreme luxury and affluence. And then, okay. With the Ten of Pentacles, that's the Mercury and Virgo card. This is not about sugarcoating. As we grow up, you see, he's mature. The children are running around. They're making more babies. They got 4 of them. They got the dog. He's chilling. The old man is chilling. He's wise. He knows. He's done, this ain't his first rodeo. And so he knows how to strip out and discern and determine, like I was saying earlier, what to take, what to leave. Is it productive? That's also going to help you determine what to take and what to leave. Are you moving forward with these people? Family, friends, lovers, business associates, your association with a particular company? Are you getting anything out of it? Because maturity and wisdom is going to say you're not going to keep repeating these cycles that don't benefit you. You're going to learn to let it go instead of getting stuck in a trap of dead ends or conversations that seem to go in circles. We're moving forward. We're moving forward, and because we're moving forward, we're wrapping things up. We're completing things. We're manifesting things. We're recognizing things. Uranus, the awareness. Aha! Figuring it out. And that's bringing about this potential for family stability, satisfaction, a family business. But getting straight to the point is just something that you may find that benefits you. Mercury in Virgo is going to be real detailed and straight to the point. This is not, I recognize with the Cancer energy, feelings and how we feel, don't get it twisted. This is not going to be a time of people tiptoeing with you, and you shouldn't be tiptoeing with other people. We learned on one of the very first slides, the whole point of this thing is to deal with the real, to get honest with ourselves and take care of some business. You can't do that if you're scared to go deep. Pluto, Mars, Scorpio. We're not scared to go deep right now. We're going deep inside of ourselves to find the boldness and the bravery we need to move forward so that we can enjoy the results of that. That's hard, smart work. Everybody can't do that. Everybody won't do that. Some people will just be hooked on drugs for the rest of their likely shorter lives because of it, because they don't want to deal. Alcoholism. Here at the bottom of the deck, we have the Six of Pentacles, once again showing and reminding us of the rewards. And the rewards that we don't necessarily have to wait for the Ten of Pentacles to show up in the future to get. There's, once again, just like with the present card of the Two of Wands, the balance, this bottom of the deck reminder shares that message of balance. You see the scales. Okay. Gratitude and self-support, okay, is what brings us the balance we need now, in the moment, in the present, in the now. Present and the present. Are you the woman on the image holding the pentacle and the scales, or are you holding your hand out? I love this one. The negative one, that you're not helping yourself. One of my favorite things is that God helps those of us who help ourselves. We can be sitting around with our hand out. Woe is me, I don't have, and how am I supposed to make these decisions, and I can't leave the past alone because I need. Instead of supporting our own self, Cancer, like I've been stating about the bottom of the chart, how we feel, how we support ourselves, even if there's nobody else around to support us. Get up off of your knees and grab you a pinnacle. Create yourself a pinnacle. Create trust in your own self, that you can bring your own self by way of gratitude. I love that about the Six of Pentacles. By way of gratitude, just in any given moment throughout this eclipse season, and things are feeling intense and weird and unexpected. Am I okay? How do I feel? You can at least trust yourself to check in, to give a crap about how you feel. Nobody cares how you feel. If you care, that's at least one person that cares. That's the main person that needs to care, that cares. You can see them looking like, oh, do you care about me? I need somebody to care about me. And look at her. She's like, she's not even looking at anybody. She's like, I'm good. I'm balanced. I give myself the rewards because I'm putting in the work. I help myself, so I attract help. I'm worth it. I'm worth being helped. Instead of having to prove your worth to others, they see it because they see you helping yourself. Sharing out of the abundance of what you do have. You may not have pentacles, but you may have just that sense of self. I'm okay. And then from that extends to others. You're the one, see yourself as the one offering the assistance. And this pentacle can just be gratitude. I may not have a physical pentacle, but I'm thankful that I have what I have. And I'm thankful for the pentacles that I am attracting. Even in this moment right now, I am attracting pentacles. And just affirming that. One thing we didn't get is any swords cards. I'm just now recognizing that. But that 10 of Pentacles is a Mercury card. So there's definitely a message there of, you know, just that steadiness and that sturdiness, the long term, the security, you know, telling yourself messages of security. I may not have a pentacle right now, but I'm thankful that I am secure in my emotions. I'm thankful that I am secure in how I feel. I'm thankful that I care about how I feel. Everything else builds on that. Like I keep showing you, that's at the bottom of the chart, the wheel. How you feel. You wouldn't think your money is tied into how you feel. You wouldn't think your career is tied into how you feel. You wouldn't think your education is tied into how you feel. But everything sits on that fourth house Cancer part of the wheel. Everything else is determined. The quality and the care and the health of it is determined by the quality and the care and the health of how we feel. The Six of Pentacles is a Moon in Taurus card. More feelings with the Moon. And so, and it talks about our needs as well. I apologize. More feelings, and it talks about our needs. Taurus is uncomplicated. We started this whole thing out with the Six of Cups, a simplicity, the simpleness. Okay, this is not, that's the reminder. The Six of Pentacles is the reminder at the bottom of the deck about gratitude. How simple is it to just be thankful? I had a blowout a little while ago. A tire blew out on me in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere. You know, just being thankful. I'm thankful that I survived it. I was safe. Nobody messed with me. All this stuff, you know. I've had some things happen since then. Very kind of that Uranus. It'll shake your world up. You're going this way, and then all of a sudden, bam! Things are just have changed in an instant, and it's still a very simple thing to, in the midst of whatever's happening, if you still have breath in your body, to be thankful, to express gratitude. It's very beneficial. In the moment, feeling good with the Moon in Taurus, being here in the present, the pleasure of the present is such a present. And then just like I said, of celebrating what you do have. Somebody who's celebrating their voice, they may shout, they may sing, you know, celebrating the breath in your body, and you just may do a deep meditation. Like, Taurus energy is very simple. It's very balancing. Like I said, this bottom of the deck reminder really points us back to our present card, which is the Two of Wands, more balance. The Six of Pentacles talks about people sharing their resources with you. Now, like I said, if you see yourself as this person, you're the one that's going to attract the pentacle. If you notice, their hands are empty. They ain't got nothing. If your conscious awareness is that you don't have anything, you will continue to create that cycle, that repetition of not having anything. The past repeating itself. That's a negative expression. A positive one is getting a second chance, reigniting something, going back to something we love. You're getting a second chance to see yourself as the one holding the pentacle. Because when you do, you will attract all these other pentacles to you. If you see yourself as needing something, you will constantly attract situations where you need something. There's a present available to us in the present when we get real thankful and recognize what we already have. It helps us to trust. It helps us to be patient. It helps us to do the hard, smart work because we know it's going to pay off. We know karma is real. Saturn, the Lord of karma, right there with Pluto and Capricorn opposing this Cancer new moon. Opposite, balancing out that karma, that karmic energy of what is owed and what is deserved with the Cancer energy of how we feel. If you feel like you are in desperate need, then you deserve to be in desperate need. If you don't have a pentacle in your hand, but you feel so rich and so blessed and so blissed and so thankful and so abundant, then you're going to create that for yourself. Taurus moon, okay, yeah. We've gone through all of these. You can get the slideshow upon request. The next presentation that will be done is the lunar full moon partial eclipse in Capricorn. And you've got the list of sources. Just add .com to the end of all of them. Thank you, you guys. We made it. I'm so happy and thankful to have this divine opportunity to set out off a whole new, renewed, since we've been doing this in some form or fashion, just not on the YouTube platform before now. It's the divine opportunity to really just get an unexpected present and have my presence now all of a sudden on YouTube, to kind of balance out the fact that I've got so many messages I'm channeling constantly, and now I have yet another outlet to share it on. Thank you. I am your world healer, and we will meet again and read again very, very, very soon. Thank you.